All right, what's going on, guys? Jake here, Made from Range, back on Made from YouTube. We are still at the Kingdom. I'm getting an early look at MG5, which is super, super cool. My California bag actually has MG4s in it.
Yes.
So that's the perfect time to try out the new MG5 and see how they go. Right now, as we're standing here, the MG Proto was just released yesterday. I think consumer availability was like yesterday or the day before maybe. So really cool to be able to get a first look at this. Just introduce yourself for all of us, and then we'll get in because I'm grinding here.
Jake, thanks for coming today.
Yeah,
Last time, so my name is Patrick Baxter. I work on the product creation group, and I specifically work on the Wedge program.
Sure.
So excited to show you.
Awesome.
You're right. Today we're going to walk you through the MG5 product. But yeah, you're right. Yesterday we did just drop we have two new grinds in the MG5 family. We have the SC Grind and the SX. Both grinds kind of live in this mid-range area. So we noticed that, you know, the particular part of the business, it runs like a bell curve.
Okay.
We've got, you know, a small percentage of low bounce users, a small percentage of high bounce users, but our standard bounce grind captured the attention of a lot of golfers. So what we're doing is we're doubling down and offering 3 standard bounce grinds. You know, one, call it maybe a mid in the standard,
Sure.
a lower bounce standard bounce in the SC, and then a little more bounce marked with an 11 on the SX.
Cool.
So a good way to think of it, just from a scale there. You know, Wedge is a department where we get into the details.
Yeah.
We get into sole grinds, and what we're really excited about is that this is the first wedge from TaylorMade Golf where we have precision forging.
Yeah, I saw that very noted yesterday. That was cool, yeah.
Exactly. So that was very intentional, that the design language of MG Proto was draw your attention that it's a proto, but also very intentional that it's a forged construction.
Yeah.
So really exciting. It's a 1025C. Our goal was to create the softest feeling wedge in golf.
Okay.
Inspired from Colin Morikawa. You know, when he worked with us, he goes, just make me the softest wedge you can.
Yeah.
And so our engineers, we set out to give golfers the softest wedge, and we're doing that in the form of forged. And we're also really excited, we have a brand new sawmill groove.
Okay.
That's huge for us. We have a more aggressive groove. It's got a sharper radius, more aggressive groove, basically giving golfers better spin conditions in wet. You know,
Sure,
our spin tread design, the laser etching on the club, you know, because it's not about just hitting wedge shots on a dry day like today. It's about that morning tee time, your same shot, and understanding that you're getting consistent grooves in any condition.
Yeah.
That's why we believe in raw, we believe in our spin tread technology, and then also really excited to have new grooves.
Awesome.
So beyond the tech, you know, you've got 6 different grinds to work with. Yeah. And happy to take you through. You know, it's last time you were here, we got you into the Tiger wedges, it sounds like.
Yeah, they were. So Perry got me into the low bounce 60, and then I went rogue off into myself and bought the TWs. Ended up liking the TW 60 down here, but at home I like the low bounce still better.
Sure.
And then that 56 TW was, again, I went rogue. I think Perry put me into the 56 high bounce actually when I did my real fitting, and then again I went rogue and went, you know, because of Tiger Woods and stuff. But I would love to see what we can do with especially a better 56 compared to the TW, for me at least. So yeah, it'll be just whatever.
So it's always good to get feedback on where you're playing, right?
Yeah.
Where is home for you?
Just outside of Chicago. So usually pretty soft but very easy turf. Okay. I guess is the right way to say it. Like I don't have there's not a lot of grainy stuff out there. There's not a lot of, you know, worries with some of the soft, like what is it, POA that you guys have, or Soijo, whatever that is. I hate that grass. So it's interesting to see how it changes when you interact in different environments. But yeah, at home, I would say it's very easy, very manageable turf conditions, but usually decently soft, yeah.
So it's important in a wedge fitting to talk about the type of course the golfer plays in, to understand the conditions that they're playing in. What's kind of neat about the Tiger Grind is this is now, I want to say, our 4th iteration of our Tiger Grind. It's really inspired because at the time when we were making these wedges, it's built for a player who's playing all around the world. And just like you know, you're doing a lot of traveling. I think a lot of people get into that wedge because it has a lot of camber. It has that leading edge ski. it's a bit unforgiving on the full shots,
Sure.
and it's interesting to hear your feedback that the 56, a club that you're hitting a lot of the full shots with, it's this very non-forgiving sole. So we'll straighten that out for you. Absolutely excited to do that for you. You know, also, as you know, clubs like Mini Driver, UDIs, it's not really anymore about just having 14 clubs and sticking with it.
Yeah, no.
I mean, our top level tour players, they're looking at new wedges and new grinds week to week.
Yeah, pretty much every time they travel,
My recommendation is as you travel and you go play a course with firm conditions, hard bunkers, that's a great time to bring in your 06 wedge, your T-grind wedge, or, you know, consider our MG5 low bounce. You know, that's what that's made for.
Sure.
So having multiple 60 degrees, I think, is a really smart thing to do.
Absolutely.
As you get into areas like in San Diego, you mentioned Poana.
We
have a unique grass like at Riviera called Kikuya. It grows like a vine and it's really soft. You have to pick it cleanly. Having some bounce in this particular climate is like is very much suggested. So let's have you hit a couple shots. Let me watch your existing 60 degree.
Sure.
So again, this is MG4 Tiger. This left pin and the black pin there, we're gonna try to hit some scoring shots, right? So it's about 43 yards to the black flag. About 73 to the white flag. So I'll let you kind of dealer's choice. Walk me through your shot.
So with this black flag here, you said it's about 43, so we're trying to cover 35. I like to try to drive the ball more than I do hit it up. Some of that has been equipment driven, where like I just don't build a lot of stuff to hit the ball up with my wedges. I like to kind of fight them in. But with where that pin is, I would try to spin this and kind of carry it at the hole if I can.
Yeah, I love that. There's not a lot of green to work with.
No.
I love the high route, right? You're seeing high. Awesome, good shot under the hole, about 8 feet. Hit me another one.
That might have been the first time I successfully, on camera, told somebody what I was going to do.
Well, it's good to call your shot. I'll take you have a step back, right? Because, you know, golf is not just like scraping and hitting balls. Especially in short shots. There was a decision in place, right? You had to go through a certain amount of, you know, you're within the 40 seconds of golf. You're deciding the shot shape, and then you know, go in with intention to your golf shot. I love that action. Just, you know, one of the best swing thoughts I had was like, just come in at it crisp. You know, that thing sounded really crisp through impact. So
I try to make sure I'm very aggressive through the ball. So I do, most of my speed work comes from how far back I go and then how much I move my wrists. But I try, like, one thing that I think I do very well is I stay fast through the ball, no matter what distance I am with my wedges.
Jake, also, we've got plenty of turf here. If you don't mind, I want you to aim or just throw the ball right here. And if you don't mind, we're just going to take a little bit of turf right here. I want to see you just kind of hit the next 3 kind of that way.
This way? Okay.
Oh, this might go in. Spin.
Oh.
Okay, awesome. So let's change flags. So we have 71 to this white, and then it's about 84 to that black flag. Now we're into the wind. You're hitting straight into the west coast to the ocean here. What I'd like to see is your entry on the 56. So perhaps that would be that 83-yard flag.
Definitely.
Black. Let's hit your 56.
Oh.
Shot there, Jake, and look, that MG4 is still spinning quite nicely, so that's nice to see.
So I remember when these came out, it was kind of like an industry joke of everybody was like, how are these legal? It was all of us. Like, I remember specifically, like, I talked to Chris McCormick about it. I talked to Brian Knudsen, WRX, about it. Like, all of us were like, what did they do to these things? Because it's also super durable, and like the spin lasts in these for quite a long time, to the point where I've probably played, I'm probably 45, 50 rounds deep with these. Like, and they're fun.
Still holding up fine.
Oh. So that right there is why I don't like this wedge. That does that a lot.
You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. Now, in a wedge fitting, I'm looking at different divot patterns, right? You're gonna walk into the store, you're gonna see some signage at the store, and you're gonna see heavy divots, medium divots, and no divots.
Sure.
Right? So choosing a grind is a little bit like understanding the turf condition that you play in most often, so that it's playable where the course you play.
Sure.
Also, it's how you're descending the swing, right?
Sure.
Like how you're descending into the ball,
Okay.
right? And to me, just think of it as clean, dollar size, nice thin divots, right?
Okay.
Coincidentally, these front two were with your 60 degree, one of your favorite wedges.
Yeah.
That Tiger 60. You introduced, I see consistency, I see consistent depth,
Okay.
and I don't see any excessive digging.
Okay.
Okay. Now, coincidentally, that 56 degree, an old school player like Tiger, he opens up the 56 a lot.
Yeah.
He's choosing short shots around the green a lot, so he requires a lot of camber in that 56.
Sure.
So call it low bounce.
Yeah.
Check out how deep and thick your entry is onto the 56.
Yeah.
They're all just consistently deeper.
Yes.
So choosing a grind is all about just getting you to a place where you're making these nice smooth divots.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So excited, let's get into the grinds. Now I'm excited because in our SC, which was one of the newer grinds, we have that in a 56. It actually goes 54, 56, 58, and 60.
Okay.
SC is for that versatile player. Okay, like if I walk you around the green and if you're opening up the club, you're comfortable opening up the club, the LB obviously is for that player, right? So it's going to sit really low to the ground.
Yep.
SC is like your next best versatile club.
Okay.
Now remember, we just went from like Tiger grind, 56 degree, kind of plays like a low bounce, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to take little steps, right, I'm going to go to SC 56, and then maybe just get into standard bounce 56. That's kind of the progression, right?
Okay, cool.
So let's run through that. Now remember that black flag was 84.
Okay.
Right? You're into the wind. It's really playing like 100 yards right now.
Yeah. So that felt. Go in. Oh, whoa.
You got a brand new wedge.
Holy cow.
New groove pattern.
Okay, so right away, the feel difference between those two is way more than I thought it was going to be. I've never thought that was firm or clicky or anything like that, but now it feels like that because this is very, very soft.
All right.
But also that was really cool. You guys, unfortunately, can't see the green, but like that carried just about there and is now off and almost into the rough in front of the green.
Yes.
Now, the impact with that though felt so solid. That felt like my wedges at home feel.
Good.
Which is the feeling I've been trying to bring down here or just when I travel. Like Florida's another really good one where I go to Florida and my wedges feel like just junk. It's terrible. That same thing, like that just felt so good.
Way to adjust, look at that.
Look
birdie.
at this.
Just made birdie.
Dang.
So you hit that about 10 feet pass, controlled the spin.
Yeah.
Uphill putt 5 feet. Now, remember, what did I say at the beginning? Our journey for producing this product was to give golfers the softest feeling wedge in golf.
Sure.
Super exciting for me to hear your genuine reaction on how
so
soft
good.
it was.
Yeah.
Again, just playing the selection process, right? Again, it's always difficult for golfers to understand how to choose a sole, right? So let's just, take a critical look at your divot, right? Okay, I love how full it is. Like the entry point's really nice. As I measured your clubs in the back, looks like you're right around standard length. Maybe might just be a little under standard length.
Yeah, just a tiny bit under, maybe. Yeah, depending on the way I cut my shaft that day.
Sure.
It should be right around there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you were right. Yeah, you were at standard or just a little lower. So these are standard length wedges. I will talk about length because I'm looking for kind of inconsistencies left or right that divot.
Sure.
But you got a nice, beautiful full divot right here on the deeper end. But like heck, I mean you were hitting great shots. Let's have you try the SB.
Okay. Do you want me to start creating lines, or are we still okay?
You're fine. Yeah,
okay.
Don't worry about it.
So I don't want to be that guy.
No, you're good.
The Kingdom staff's gonna be like, who the hell is this kid here?
We'll fill it up as you get more comfortable.
All right. Go ahead. Holy spin! Ooh. So that felt nice and like clippy. That felt more how my, if I was gonna hit a shot to that white flag with my 60, that felt identical to like what I would think it was gonna feel like. That feels so good. That's gonna spin over the moon too though. Yeah, look at that.
And check out the divots here, right? I'm not seeing the depth because I've got more bounce. That bounce, you know, acts like a rudder of a ship.
Sure.
It's pushing the debris out. But when I give you more bounce, it looks to me like it's not as digging as much.
Sure.
You hit them all wonderfully, right? Now it's about like how versatile are you with a 56 degree? If it's really a lot of more scoring wedge related shots and maybe the occasional club up in a bunker, because of the length of the shot, just take a critical look in the shapes. And the SC is made if you like to open the club up more often than not because it has more heel relief.
Sure.
A couple shaping topics I'd like to get to because we did make some shaping changes in the standard bounce.
Okay.
What we have is more of a leading edge curvature. So the leading edge obviously out here and it has more curve.
Okay.
Because of that, we also have like a taller address position here.
Sure.
So that way the club looks, you know, more even and more full. So basically you have a taller kind of top position here, this top line, and then you have a more rounded sole curvature.
Okay.
So what that's doing is it's creating a club that's easier to aim when you open up the club.
Sure.
Okay. You don't want something, because when the club is really straight, it has that tendency to want to look right.
So I use my 56 out of bunkers quite frequently.
Okay.
I have a fear of speed in bunkers, so I like to go to a 56 so I can just be more tempoed. Yep. And just let the club get the ball out of there. So between that, I guess I would say, like, what would be your flip there?
It's a great comment because when we showed Tommy Fleetwood the new grinds, the first thing he did at Memorial was get into a bunker because he was trying to understand, like, how quickly does this club exit out of the sand?
Yeah.
Long story short, I think what you'd find is the SC is going to play like a little more low bounce. So it'll feel knifier. You're going to easily take more sand.
Okay.
If the sand, now you got to think of the conditions you're in, right?
Yeah.
If you're in super tough, fluffy sand that day, SB is probably going to be what you want.
Yeah.
Helping all that sand and getting the ball out.
Okay.
But if you're playing a course where you kind of know where the greens get a little, or the bunkers get a little firm.
Yeah.
You know, it's more medium to firm conditions. SC is a good way to go.
Yeah. Our bunkers are close to dumping topsoil in a bunker than actual sand.
Okay.
So they get a little bit firmer.
There's
hard. Not like the bottom comes in quick at our bunkers. So you go SC over then.
Sold SC all day, baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
And then the only difference to SX then would be it goes the other way, right? So it's slightly higher bounce.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Awesome.
The SX, while we're on the topic, it's a new club where it's actually our widest sole in the entire lineup. So that's a 60 degree. And the neat thing about this is it has the most curvature at the leading edge. It almost provides that little bit of a goose.
Yeah.
And again, really full area on that top line.
Okay.
So almost somewhat of an old school shape.
Yeah.
Again, being a wide sole, it also has this, you can see there,
big relief on the trailing edge.
Trailing edge.
Yeah.
That reverse C trailing edge is very intentional. It's for when the player opens up the club, you're not creating a ton of
No, the leading
bounce.
edge stays down really nicely.
Leading edge stays down, so it stays nice and level. Okay, so that's a really, really new, exciting wedge out that's, you know, very unique in the MG5 kind of lineup.
Yeah, I love that trailing edge relief. And like you said, I mean, it's like, obviously I just did it too, but like putting that down there, it doesn't look like I'm gonna skull it, you know, like that's the big worry. And as we get into kind of the 60 conversation,
yep.
My biggest worry, I actually play a lot of my stuff, well, I'll bend it to 62 even, but I have to be able to do this without seeing leading edge, or it just visually and mentally just destroys me.
So that's probably why you liked that Tiger grind, because remember, Tiger had that leading bevel, that leading edge in the bevel, and then he also had some more relief in the back of the club too. So excited for you to see Tiger bounce, low bounce, and then maybe this SX.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good choice. So
okay.
The improvement, not improvement, but just the change in MG5 in the Tiger degree 60 is that we added more mass in the heel. Tiger was looking for a club with a little more forgiveness, and so this is just a bit of a chunkier club in the heel area.
Okay.
And we did remove that leading edge bevel. Okay. So I think what you're going to experience here is a shape that's similar.
Yeah.
But it's a club that it's not going to want to dig as much.
Yeah. I love the transition on this one from the hosel into the leading edge is so like linear and so smooth. I get really, it's a bad nitpick, I think, because it doesn't end up doing much to my actual performance. But when there's that little, and it's a visual thing, but when there's that little notch right there, right where the hosel kind of goes into the leading edge, because some get too bulbous. Yeah. It's weird. Now, you're saying that those have more face curvature, and I didn't see it on those. Good. So somehow visually you guys are hiding that, which is super cool, because I hate when it's not hidden, essentially. So we do that by having our Tour satin chrome, and it's a finish that we've been using in our P-Series irons out on tour. Okay. So, you know, that satin chrome is intentional. All right, so I'm gonna try to hit that same shot, but we're going white flag now. That's spinning going downhill, just so everybody is clear. Holy cow. Like it spun back up the hill. Yeah, that's crazy. So I can even give it a little more oomph. All right. That feels so good. Let's have you hit to the that black flag, that 41 yarder. Okay. And you can start to patch these divots together. All right, perfect. You're familiar with this Tiger grind. Wow. It just feels so easy. Like, you know, it feels like there's nothing about this wedge that's fighting how I'm delivering the club at all. Holy spin though. I wish there was like a GoPro out there right now, because I can't describe to you guys how, I get it's a brand new wedge, but like there still is a semblance of, not every wedge you take out of the wrapper does that. Jake, this is our most aggressive groove we've ever made. Oh! Because of the sawmill. Yeah. We can basically get a sharper radii. The walls are steeper in each of the grooves, and if you look closely from an MG4 to an MG5, the bottom groove is just a little bit higher up in the club. Sure. So a lot of things in place there. The ridge in the back, you can kind of see that's really developed because of giving you great sound on the wedge. Okay. Sound is feel, but again, in combination of the structure of the wedge to give you great sound, the combination of the material, the soles, the milled grind soles. Yeah, oh yeah. We didn't even get into that on how consistent these are from wedge to wedge. Yeah. Thanks to milled grind. So you've hit Tiger. Okay. What I'd like you to try next would probably be, let's go into like an SB, okay? So just right up the gut, our SB 60. Okay. Do a couple fulls to white first. This wedge has a nice four-way camber. So what that means is it's versatile.
if a golfer kind of looking for a wedge and plays a lot of different types of courses, and it's just a nice overall go-to wedge. And really, if you're playing a lot of short shots straight faced, this is a good option. And that 4-way camber just sits right in the middle of the sole. So you can kind of just play around with it. Great wedge tip I got from our great fitter, Greg Cesario, is like when you're standing over a wedge, it's just imagine like you had laser eyes just right through the bottom of the wedge, and really try to understand that and have that sole interact in the ground right before you play.
Yeah. So those 2 shots that I just hit, one of them I was trying to be a little bit like nippy or kind of lift the ball a little bit, but then the second one I was trying to drive it in. Neither one of them felt like they were, I would say the first one felt like with this grind, it came out a little bit slow, but to the ball, it was perfect. So try one more, kind of trying to drive it into there.
It's an all-around performance style wedge.
No, that's great.
And one to not be overlooked. Just because it's SB doesn't mean that it was, you know, something where you didn't get properly fit. I think it's always worth considering that wedge. Now let's try the 60 SC. Remember, we did fit you into that 56 SC.
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit a few to there, you know, maybe to that 41-yard flag and then back to that 74-yard flag.
See, now that feels like, hold on, that was cool, actually. Because if I can do that with speed, that's awesome. Because that's closer to kind of how my wedges at home feel. Like that.
Yep. Beautiful, Jake. Go in. Jake, the SC, again, just like 56, we talked about it. It's made with more heel relief. It lives on that standard bounce realm, but it's more on the lower end.
It just feels like I can keep it here a little bit, like I can let it open up just a tiny bit.
Yep.
Wow. Oof.
Now, that club should want to dig a little bit more than when we were just hitting that SB.
Okay.
Okay? Now, let's try that new SX, okay? We've got it right here.
The leading edge is definitely a little bit more round on this one. You can see it.
Yep.
Harder to get in for me, it feels like.
Yep.
Wow. It's crazy what, I mean, I get people that ask me, you know, how can you test all this different stuff, right? When not all of it is your fit. And it's having worked with guys like you so much and learning the product and like you telling me kind of how this was designed and who it was designed for, I can sort of change a couple variables to see what it's going to come out at. And then it's easier for me to recommend it to that correct person.
Jake, you know, golf's given me a lot, and I really enjoy what I do because I'm trying to make product portfolios for every golfer.
Yeah.
And we're all so different. And it's cool to talk to a skilled player like you who can make adjustments on the fly. We can go into the weeds on how these things are made.
Yeah.
I mean, I still play competitive golf, and I don't have the time to practice, but I do have the time at my work to learn how the clubs are made.
Yeah.
So I can apply it into my own game. Now, this SX, in all truthfulness, it's for that player who it's tough for them to not chunk that thing. It wants to slide through the turf, like thanks to that lower leading edge, thanks to that wide sole. It's pretty hard to lay the sod on a style wedge like that.
Very.
Kind of like how high bounce wedge would be, right? Like if you're struggling with chunking the ball and decelerating and all of like the bad miss, I definitely encourage golfers to try a club with higher bounce.
Yeah.
And again, that SX wedge is really meant to bridge that gap between a high bounce and our standard bounce.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, because so like these like little 40-yarders, I just can't, it kind of wants to glide across the top. and like you said, instead of going down. So it's really just, it's a speed change for me of not going into the ball, but trying to figure out how to get enough speed behind it. See, even that still, but it's just this nice, smooth, little tiny, shallow divot, which, like you said, if you have a player who feels like they get dumpy all the time, or if they end up chunking a lot of their wedges, more of kind of like even like a Yipsy scenario almost, like, I could see this being hugely beneficial for that person to feel like the wedge is just kind of gonna glide across the top of it and give them good contact.
Bunker play, we talked a little bit about Fleetwood and that story of him going into the bunker. This is a great bunker style wedge. Like, if someone who's struggling with bunker play, this is a great wedge to try.
All right, let's see. How about driving? And that's the perfect one, because I would say a lot of people, so like even that, I mean, that's me purposely leaning, kind of going in, but that to me is more, that's more similar to how I think most people try to chip, as they try to get too little, like kind of down, and they don't have the ability to kind of open up and let the hands do that work. And for that to still do that and not go straight into the ground and, you know, leave me 15 yards short is awesome. So this is very cool because it feels super easy. Like, there's no stress with this.
That wide sole really helps you kind of, it's a lot of stability. And you know, even when you open up that club, that reverse trailing C keeps everything level.
Absolutely. Awesome.
We do have the shaft we have there is a True Temper Dynamic Gold. It's a Tour Issue S200 Wedge Flex. It's offered with a Golf Pride Z grip, the +2. That's that +2 wraps in the bottom hand.
Cool.
It's
Very
the
cool.
same stock grip that we do in the P series. The design language of the MG5, you can kind of see with our black and white. It's very serious, very players oriented. You know, definitely, you know, blends great into our P series sets, you know, when laid into the bag. Tour Satin Chrome. We offer the MG5 in a new charcoal finish as well. We'll offer those in a variety of bounces, but we'll do all the lofts in the standard bounce area. But yeah, super excited for you to try out these MG5s.
Yeah, man, thanks for bringing me through. That was awesome. The only other thing I would say is, the one thing I noticed was all the top lines are super thin, and I've seen with other manufacturers, a lot of people are trying to beef up that top area. They're trying to fight the ball, like get that CG higher. What's the story for you guys? Because the first thing I would say is, I didn't feel for a second that it was hard to keep the ball down, or that my launch angles were higher than what I would see at home. I mean, but that does not look, you know, like the ones I have at home, for example, different manufacturer, there's more meat here, right? Like, you can see it built up on the top. So for you guys, why not go that direction? Because I don't see it with any of the grinds, which is a cool story from my point of view.
You bet. Well, remember, out of TaylorMade, we own the high toe wedge as well. So we have this headed monster in our wedge category. Those in high toe in our milled grind. The milled grind is really meant to have a great sole, best in class construction, and best in class grooves. So this is our most aggressive groove, our softest feeling wedge we've ever made. We're trying to hit home and earning spin, the most spin we can. We do have a mass pad and longer hosels in those high toe products. And for golfers who need help controlling their ball flight, high toe is a great option for them. So
awesome.
It's really, you know, how the golfer presents it. But, you know, again, in fitting, I'm looking for your divots. I'm asking golfers questions about where they play. And as you know, when you're playing the right bounce in the right condition, this game gets a lot easier because you don't give up the easy shots.
Absolutely. No, these are beautiful. They feel phenomenal. Like I said, I've never had a complaint about how those MG4s feel, but these feel phenomenal. They spin off the planet, which was really cool. Like I said, we got balls spinning back downhill, which was hilarious. But no, this is amazing. You know, congrats to you and the team. Obviously, this is kind of your guys' baby. But no, I'm super excited for the release of these. I'm definitely I gotta send an email after we're done with this and see what we can throw them.
So 56 SC all day. I'd love for you to pivot between the 60 SB and the 60 SC, judging from, you know, where you discussed most of your golf in Chicago. So stay in that SB 60, SC 60, 56 SC. And go ahead, you know, I noticed that you had a 52-degree standard bounce. This is a 52 standard bounce. just love for you to get an opinion on how your MG4 felt compared to the 52. We really didn't change too much about the sole geometry on the scoring wedge here.
Cool.
But yeah, give that a run.
All right, sweet.